What's up everyone, Barrett Stover, founder of RSP here today. We have another athlete spotlight for you. We're very excited to look at what Matthew Reese has been doing this summer. He's also been taking part of our pitching program and our strength conditioning program. He's a young man that came in with some very specific goals and some really high upside and wanted to just put a plan in place to hit those goals. So you'll see someone that came in throwing with a little discomfort, how we've overcome that discomfort and how we've added on some serious miles per hour and to get him prepared going into the fall to be the best pitcher he can be.
All right, and so with Matt's programming, he's pretty new to the weight room, so we kept it basic in the sense of we didn't need to do all the fancy bells and whistles, all the bar speed, bands, anything else, nothing too crazy. It was basics. We focused on the tempos, we focused on gaining size and strength, and the most important part of it was we needed Matt to show up every day. And that's one thing that he's done very, very well with, is that he's been in here day in, day out. And then the other most important thing is he's put great effort towards the lifts that he's had, which is really the main parts of the recipe. The fancy programming isn't necessarily the best thing if it's not executed on a day in, day out basis. Sometimes simple is better, especially if simple is executed very, very well, and day in, day out, which Matt has done a very good job.
Definitely right off the jump. Right as I started, came 5 days a week, worked out, no cheating, no cuts, and every day just getting better. It's just what I'm gonna get used to, and I'm gonna continue doing to get to the best of my ability. I definitely feel like all the coaches and trainers here definitely help encourage and make sure I'm staying on track. I feel like they've definitely helped me get to where I need to be and am gonna get to where I need to be in the future.
Some of the things we focused on with Matt, stemming off from his eval, was going to be mobility, particularly through his hips, then also the positioning of how his shoulders were kind of sitting based on his rib cage. We were noticing that he was limited in certain ranges of motion that we needed to address, as far as allowing him to get more layback, so that way we could let his arm actually whip around like we needed to. On top of the weight room stuff, getting stronger, gaining body weight, that kind of thing. But we needed to clear up those mobility issues that were going to allow him to actually get to the proper movements on the mound, which is what the throwing coaches were looking at improving. So we gave him the pieces of the puzzle to improve that, and then now he's up. How many miles an hour are you up?
I've gained 4 miles per hour since I've started with RSP.
Matt Reese just started training with us at the beginning of the summer, so he's only been here for about 3 months, finishing up his 3rd month, and he's already gained 4 miles an hour, jumping up from 77 to 81. And he's been a fun case because he's a very coachable kid, he's easy to work with. When Matt came in, he was already a good pitcher, but we needed him to get a little more aggressive. We needed him to move a little bit faster. We needed him to get comfortable being uncomfortable, moving fast and trying to throw hard. And what we've seen from that is success already, up 4 miles an hour and still throwing strikes.
So if you followed us for any amount of time at all, you should have heard us say multiple times how important we think consistency is. These guys that we're spotlighting in here all the time, pretty much every single day of summer. The other big piece is you have to do the strength conditioning side of things and you have to do the throwing side of things. Doing only one is not gonna let you have those exponential results that we've seen with a couple of spotlights that we've had, because you're only hitting one side of it. So a lot of these guys do need the strength side and gaining more size and mass than they might necessarily need the throwing side of things. But if you get big and strong and you're moving well, but you don't have the arm capacity, or your mechanics are poor, or your sequencing is off, then you're not gonna get nearly the results on the mound that you will want to get. So we really want to emphasize combining those two things to help the athlete the most that we possibly can and get the best results possible. If you're interested in taking your velo to the next level, leave a comment or send us an email and we'll help you get started on your own journey to maximize your potential.